Over a long period of time I have been discovering things about my life, from my start in the world to now. It is like having a huge puzzle of a million pieces with lots of them missing. However, as I have been on this journey, tiny parts of the puzzle have started to fit together. I don't necessarily have a burning need to make all the pieces fit because where I am now in my life is the best position I have ever been in because of my faith in God. What I will say is that I have discovered that I have been targeted throughout my entire life, from personal life to my working life. I don't yet know why, but it is clear to me that I have been deliberately targeted and had the rug pulled from under me over and over. There was a plan in place to try and thwart my every move so that I would never succeed or reach my full potential. Every single job I have had, I would start off fantastic. I would learn new skills easily and become familiarized quickly and learn that I was not the stupid individual I had always had drummed into my brain. I would always start a job the same way and excel to the point I would receive praise and be promoted and just do a really good job. My aptitude in working with IT and computing got me some pretty cool and enjoyable tasks to do. I was always reliable, conscientious, and went above and beyond to get whatever job I was given done to the best of my ability. Then, out of the blue, completely out of the blue, I would get demoted. Either no reason was given or a bullcrap reason was. It always went in the same stages. Demotion was the first form of what I call bullying and torture. Why do I use those two words? Because the people I worked for would then change. Colleagues who I got on really well with would just stop speaking to me and completely blank me. Then I would start being bullied by bosses and staff. Then came the campaign of them laughing and talking about me. They would do enough to make it plain to me and enough to make me begin questioning my own sanity. Being ignored and having jobs taken away from you and being given menial tasks instead knocked my confidence, so I began thinking maybe I was wrong and they were right. I was stupid and a nothing. In one job I would start the working day at 7 a.m. and sit the whole day in silence. Whereas I would walk around the office asking for work, it actually felt like begging and people never had anything for me. I was purposely isolated and ignored until the crappiest task came along and then I would be given it. It was excruciating, day after day of mental torment. Pushing bits of paper around my desk, trying to look busy when no one was giving me anything to do. No one would speak to me. There are only so many times you can go to ladies' restroom, or so many cups of coffee you can go and make to try and make the day go by. But it just dragged. Then, to further demean me, a youngster was hired, with none of my experience etc. and not the level of skills I had. I'm not bigging myself up, not at all. But the replacement was sat next to me and given all of the jobs that I used to do. I would watch them struggle, but it did not matter to the bosses and other staff. This person was treated like a golden child if you like, and I can see now, it was done on purpose to wear me down, and it did. I dreaded going into work each day, but I needed the money and I had done nothing wrong, not a thing. There are things I suffered with as a direct result of how I was treated in every job I have had. The last job started the same as what I have just described. Everything going great and I was happy. Then began the bullying, the laughing and snidering. Then work being taken off me. I had one girl tell me that I made her look bad because of how well I was doing my job. Things turned worse and I could not understand why. Why me? The catalyst to me losing that job was this. A few of us arrived at the office early as usual and we all would make a coffee and take it back to our desks. I made mine and sat down. One girl stayed in the kitchen and another joined her. I thought nothing of it until she came out crying with a colleague's arm around her shoulder. She had made up a complete lie that I had verbally attacked her in the office kitchen, and now she was upset and scared of me. I literally fell off my chair because it was a total shock and a blatant lie. No one was interested in me telling the boss that she had made it up, and I was tarred as a troublemaker. I remember sitting at my desk not being able to hold in the tears any longer. You have to understand that previous to that job I had been in 3 long-term jobs and they had all ended with me being bullied and ostracized. I tried talking to the girl and asking her why had she said this and what had I ever done to her that she would make up this story, and I was given a barrage of insults, smirking and basely told that there was nothing I could do about it. So I got up and went home. I could not take it anymore. There is a connection between the bosses I have had which I will tell you later. Actually no, I will tell you no. They were part of the same club, Freemasons. As one company headed by one boss subjected me to gang stalking and continual torment until I was no longer employed, unbeknown to me, the next boss then took over at the next company and so on. One of the offices I worked for was a government office and the level of victimization that I suffered there was the worst. Another company I worked for went the same way with a few other knocks thrown in. Pay cuts when other staff did not get pay cuts. I got made redundant while newer employees of less than 3 months' service kept to their jobs. I had worked for over 5 years. I ended up taking the company to court and was faced with every single employee at the company, all with individual witness statements, full of lies and insults against mainly attacking me personally, where I lived, things I had said to people I thought were friends at one point, before they began bullying me. They set out to tear me to pieces as a person and as an employee and painted me as being crazy that I had imagined all the things they had systematically done to me. And my 5+ years of work was described as hardly rocket science. Although I cannot prove this, I was told that all employees were threatened with losing their own jobs if they did not go against me and that the boss of the company was friends with one of men who was on the panel at court. So as you can I never stood a chance. My whole career has been a series of campaigns to tear me to shreds emotionally and then physically as my health suffered. Looking back, I quickly noticed that the friendships I had made, or thought I had made, at these jobs were set-ups. Normal day-to-day chit-chat and talking about personal non-work related things were drawn out of me without me realizing for the sole purpose of using that information against me at a later date. So the questions I have are: why have I been continually targeted? Why was I singled out? If all the things that I endured took place at the same company, then I would say I was unlucky to have been targeted for no apparent good reason and moved on. But now as I put the pieces together I can see the same patterns, the same treatment all escalating into daily targeted bullying, character assassination, systematic mental torture, all designed to break me down on all levels. People who have never been through this and who think gang stalking is a conspiracy will say that I must have done something to trigger all of this. I know for a fact that the type of person I am had something to do with making me a target, but it's not the whole reason. I don't follow the crowd. I have my own opinions and beliefs, and this has never gone down well. I am a quietly conscientious person with a strong work ethic. I learn fast, I am quick, and I give 100% to everything. I prefer not to talk about my private life. I don't feel the need to socialize out of work as I am happy in my own company. I'm not interested in gossip. I basically would do my job, interact with colleagues, do as I was told and never put a foot wrong. But if I ever felt an injustice was done to me or something going on, I would speak up. People did not like me having a voice. I went to the union at one company seeking help, and not surprisingly, they did not want to get involved with what I was enduring. I was told it would not go down well if I made any complaints. And soon after that I was given a humiliating dressing down by my boss. By that I mean he was red in the face, shouting at me, banging his fist on the table because I had dared to question why he treated me in the way he did and what was his problem with me. After being threatened not to take him on, I had to leave. I chose to give them what they wanted. I was a physical and emotional wreck. At the time I had developed a medical condition that was, at that time, undiagnosed, and due to me having all of my duties taken from me and replaced with a mostly manual job, I was in severe physical pain and I could not carry on any longer. Through my day-to-day life going back a number of years, I had many unusual things happen. Some things have stopped but some of them continue to this day. I have been stalked. Currently ongoing. Always followed around shops. Always individuals who I do not know blatantly staring at me with pure hatred in their faces everywhere I go, and at this present time, this happens by strangers and individuals that I see around every day. Rumors and gossip about me appear from nowhere. Numerous calls from unknown numbers. I gained proof that I was being treated differently at GPs than other people I knew with the same and or similar reasons for going to the doctor. I don't get taken seriously and go away with no proper help. It's worthless for me to visit a doctor's surgery because of this. Other stuff. Dog excrement placed directly outside my gate for a number of days. There is a man sometimes with a dog pretending to be a hobo-type person always walking past my house, then turning right around looking at my house and going back past. Always around when I leave my house in the mornings. By accident, and he did not see me. I saw him at what I am certain was his home. A big newly built house, 2 cars in the driveway and a wife, and he was in the doorway waving her off. So I know for a fact he is not the type of person he is portraying when he stalks me. He will pretend to be heading to the local store once he has seen me, but I catch him pretending and walk off. Police helicopters either over my house hovering in the early hours, which is extremely noisy, or they fly over, turn around and come back and repeat this cycle. I have also been followed from my house while I was on foot going to the shops and other places. When I stopped, the helicopter stopped. Unexplained flying craft and or lights sat outside my bedroom window for most nights observing. In previous videos, I zoomed in and showed proof that these were demonic entities. Large chemtrails over my house. Continued noise disturbances at night and in the morning to wake me up. I have bad insomnia, so I get next to no sleep. When out walking, if cross over the road, an unusual amount of people choose to cross off too. If I try to outsmart and cross back, they also cross back over. Traffic lights always change to red whenever I get there. I see the same white cars, posh ones, speeding past me whenever I am out. I have had a few isolated incidents, and whether they are connected or not I am 50-50. These are: I was lying in bed not able to sleep. It was probably around 2 a.m. and as I lay with my eyes closed trying to stop my mind racing as it usually does, I had a loud high-pitched noise pierce my eardrums, and it was so loud I clutched my hands over my ears and thought, what the heck is going on? Fire alarm inside? Car alarm outside? I knew it was neither because the noise was in my head and it was piercing and painful, like the kind of noise an amplifier would make with the highest tone possible. I jumped out of bed, looked out of the window. I don't know why. I just wanted it to stop, but it did not. I remember getting back into bed and pulling the covers over my head with my hands over my ears, and I had to just wait for it to cease. I don't know when it stopped, but it eventually did. I will in bed and suddenly will hear a voice in my right ear say something loudly enough to make me jump. I refuse to be freaked out and immediately I pray over and over. One word I remember was simply what? There are a couple more strange things, but I'm not ready to talk about them, or give them any more thought than I have to, if that makes sense. The object of all of this is to instill fear and uncertainty into people and drive them round the bend, and I will not let that happen. I want to hear anyone who has experienced any of the things I have, and I will share your stories, anonymous of course, because we need to support each other. You leave me a message on Google+. I am telling you now that without faith and love for Jesus Christ you will not survive these attacks. Night and day I pray for an anointing from the Lord to protect me from those that plot to harm me, both on this earth and in the spiritual realms. But that is just part of it. If you do not know the Lord and seek Him out every single day and have faith that He is and will protect you no matter what, then how can He help? If you seek Him, you will find Him. The inner strength and calm that He gives me is utterly invaluable. Without Him, I personally may as well give up now. But with Him, all things are possible. With Him, hope is not lost. With Him, Fear is cast out. Learn to rely on Him for all things and not on man or yourself. I apologize for grammar errors, but I wanted to get this out.